If you thought that things couldn't possibly get worse for Donald Trump amid his civil war with Elon Musk, fortunately for us and unfortunately for him, you would be wrong, because Donald Trump has sunk to a new low, and it is causing him to lose his mind because a new report, a leaked report, is detailing the many criminal violations going on at one of Donald Trump's very own golf clubs. Yes, we have a new Trump golf scandal that we're going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we can get into this latest report, this breaking story, I want some context with the other golf scandals we've recently seen from Donald Trump, broken down by Congressman Dan Goldman and Congressman Jim McGovern in these clips right here.
Let's talk about what is not in this bill. There is no money for emergency management for FEMA. Now, this is not a partisan issue. Red districts suffer from natural disasters certainly as much or more as blue districts. And I can assure you, to my Republican colleagues, that when your district gets a flood or a tornado or a hurricane, you are going to be coming to FEMA begging for money. And I don't want to hear a single word from any of my Republican colleagues about where is FEMA when they need emergency management support. Because you are voting for a bill that includes nothing for money that you will need, and you will need it. You are being short-sighted. But do not worry, there is money for FEMA. There is money for FEMA. $300 billion. You know what that's for? For Donald Trump to play golf. $300 million to reimburse local law enforcement for presidential protection related to activities by the president. $300 million. Donald Trump has played golf 24 out of his first 99 days. That is a quarter of the days. So you are funding a bill that does not give any money for natural disasters, that does not repay towns, cities, states for the tremendous amount of money that they have paid out for our immigration system to operate? No. And that's red districts too. But we are going to make sure Donald Trump can play golf, because that's where our $300 million of FEMA money should go to.
So Homeland Security was one of the few committees given instructions to increase spending. And the committee ran with this, creating $69 billion in new spending. All this, including $300 million to pay for security while the president plays golf, and yet there is no money for FEMA to implement natural disaster prevention, mitigation, or relief. I mean, I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Since January, the Trump administration has held FEMA grants hostage. Over $1 billion blocked from supporting wildfire prevention, flood mitigation, and disaster preparedness. I mean, as discussed in the markup, natural disasters do not see red states or blue states. They don't choose their impact based on politics, and they often hit more than one state. Blocking funds to FEMA hurts all of the 95% of communities with recent disaster declarations. This should not be a partisan issue.
It is no surprise that Donald Trump is doing his favorite thing, profiting off the presidency. It's what he is most focused on all the time, to the tune of right now hundreds of millions of dollars with his golf clubs, but it'll likely be billions by the end of his presidency. So you would expect, with all this money getting siphoned into Trump's golf clubs during his trips, that maybe they'd be beautiful, they'd be top of the line. But that's not the case, because a new report just detailed just how bad, to a criminal extent, Donald Trump's golf clubs are, especially his club, Bedminster, in New Jersey. It is horrible, and it is humiliating for Trump. We're going to get into it all right here. Trump Bedminster bashes authorities after it is flagged for 18 health violations. Trump National Golf Club Bedminster in New Jersey is bashing local health authorities after it was flagged for 18 health violations following an early May inspection. The Somerset County Department of Health, in its food inspection report for May 6, faulted the club, saying that there was not proper separation of raw meats from ready-to-eat foods, which made products susceptible to contamination. It is also noted that food contact surfaces were not properly cleaned and sanitized. The club argued the health report was politically motivated. Never before have we witnessed such visceral hostility from the health department. This is clearly nothing more than a politically motivated attack, the general manager of Trump National Bedminster said in a statement to The Hill. We operate one of the most immaculate golf facilities in the country, and we take immense pride in our standards of cleanliness, safety, and hospitality, he added. The inspector on site gave the location a C rating, flagging its operation as conditionally satisfactory in addition to labeling the food establishment under its Risk 4 category. At the time of the inspection, the establishment was found not to be operating in substantial compliance with this chapter and was in violation of one or more provisions of this chapter, the report says. There are so many things that I want to say about this, but claiming lawfare over your health code report because you're keeping raw meat out in the open is absolute insanity. But this is just the Trump way. This is just what everyone around him has learned. Oh, we'll just claim that it's a politically motivated attack because we don't wash our hands before we cook. What is going on here? This is insanity, especially coming from the Make America Healthy Again crowd. I know that these people like to eat worms and drink bleach and do whatever fake science it is that they do, but I don't think like the basic health codes are imposing on your Make America Healthy Again agenda. Like, what is going on with MAGA right now? Are they actively trying to like put themselves in the hospital at the same time as Donald Trump is trying to take away their Medicaid? What is happening with the cult right now? They are just finding new ways to act in the most ridiculous ways. But again, Donald Trump's golf clubs are receiving hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and the staff can't even bother to keep them a little clean. This just shows everything around Donald Trump ultimately crumbles, ultimately falls apart. I don't know. This is just so funny to me in light of what is happening right now, that nothing in Donald Trump's life can go well, and so he is lashing out and blaming everyone else but himself. But in reality, it is himself and the terrible people he surrounds himself with. And part of that, like I said, is the failure of the Make America Healthy Again movement, which has been a joke. It's been a grift from the start. And Robert Garcia called out RFK Jr. in front of Congress, and a clip I want to take a look at right here.
But we know that AI can navigate and help government become more efficient and intuitive in many cases. I think we should be honest about that. It can also help constituents get services faster. I've seen this happen at the local level. I've seen it happen, of course, now happening at the state level and here in Congress as well. We also know that many agencies just need to move more quickly, be more efficient. And AI can be a tool when you respect the federal workforce and work with the federal workforce on how we make these implementations happen. AI can also be used, of course, on issues around red tape. I saw this happen, is seeing happening in cities across the United States. And we can analyze data better and faster. We can also work to empower our federal workforce in ways that they can use AI to help them do their jobs, and I think that's an important piece of this. It's also clear, though, that AI can be incredibly dangerous, incredibly disruptive, and certainly without guardrails can cause real harm to the American public and to the work that we're all trying to do. Now, deployment, of course, is going to take investments into work, but I do have some serious concerns about how AI is used, and it's particularly in this administration, and I want to talk about one of them, which I think is actually really, really important. So this, of course, is Robert Kennedy Jr., someone who I consider to be an extreme anti-vaxxer. I believe for him to be a conspiracy theorist and certainly has no business being the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Now, take one step back. We just went through a pandemic where 1.3 million Americans lost their lives, where businesses were shut down across the country, where healthcare was brought to the forefront of the public consciousness. And we know how important getting real medical vaccine testing information is to the American public. And right now we're dealing with measles outbreaks in Texas and other places. Information needs to be peer-reviewed, fact-checked, and done in a way that is responsible. But here, of course, we know that there was recently a Make America Healthy report that was put out by RFK Jr. and HHS. And I'm going to include in the article just this quote. There were dozens of errors, including broken links, wrong issue numbers, and missing or incorrect authors. Some studies were misstated to back up the report's conclusions, or more damningly, didn't exist at all. At least 7 of the cited sources were entirely fictitious. What we do know from many folks that have read this report is it appears that AI played a role in developing a report about the public health of Americans. This is something that we should be incredibly concerned with. And let's be clear, RFK Jr. has a long history already of dangerous, unscientific beliefs. He said 5G and Wi-Fi cause brain damage. He said that you don't believe that HIV causes AIDS. He said that water can make you transgender. These are very concerning positions. And the fact that he puts out this report, and HHS, which has been long respected as an important agency, puts out a report that is full of AI errors and AI-generated content, should concern every member of Congress on both sides of the aisle. This is incredibly devastating when you, on top of that, look at all the cuts that he's making to NIH and other health agencies across the United States. And so this is, for me, very concerning, and it should be for all of us. Professor Snyder, I want to is it fair to say that these kind of errors in important government documents and health reports that could be due to AI are concerning to us and we should be concerned about?
I mean, they are concerning, but put the blame where it belongs. I mean, maybe the AI is not suitable for the task, or maybe the human who used the AI didn't check the work. And that would have been true if the human tasked an intern. I mean, so it's really a matter of what's the process by which, by whatever gives you your first draft, do you look at it and make sure it's correct? We've seen the same problem with attorneys submitting briefs into courts that have fake precedents. I mean, yes, the AI made the mistake, but it's the human who puts their name to it, who says this is correct. They're the ones responsible. I mean, I teach this stuff. I tell my students to use AI, but you're responsible for plagiarism. You're responsible for the accuracy.
I agree with you completely. And sir, I also spent 10 years in the classroom teaching as well. And
it's really weird now.
And so I same. And I think that the idea that we're now seeing so much AI-generated content produced in our universities is a different topic. But
there is nothing healthy about a movement that is attacking millions, tens of millions of people's healthcare while trying to get them sick because they don't wash their hands before they serve unsanitary raw meat. What is wrong with these people? This is just insanity. I'm more shocked every time I report on a news Trump story just how bad things are for him currently. That really does make me happy. We need a couple of wins. I feel like we've been getting them lately, and we're going to continue to talk about that on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.